Tonight on Yokayi Footy, Andy Crack is in the house. Micky O and Gil McLachlan join the show, and we celebrate all things Sir Doug Nicholls Round. The Aboriginal flag was designed by Harold Thomas in 1971. He's a Lurringer man and a celebrated artist. In '95, the flag was officially recognised as a flag of Australia. 2 years later, Thomas was declared the author and copyright owner. Since 2018, he's licensed the worldwide exclusive right to display the flag on things like sports gear to a private clothing company which isn't Indigenous owned. This year, the AFL did not do a deal with that company. It means for the first time ever, the AFL won't be displaying the flag on Guernseys or in the centre square during Sir Doug Nicholls Round. So that's the law. But here's how so many of us are feeling about the flag. It's the flag many of our people stood under to fight for our rights in this country. A flag which has given so much pride and strength for so many years. A collective identity, a feeling of unity. I love my country, but growing up, I didn't identify with the Australian flag. I always felt like it didn't represent me or my people. The Aboriginal flag is about our country, and I see myself in it. It speaks to the land and the connection to it. It's missing this year. Together, we have to find a way to free the flag. But shout out to all the brothers and sisters who have been fighting hard on this one. Hashtag free the flag. This is Yokayi Footy. Welcome everyone to a very special episode of Yokayi Footy. On the eve of Sir Doug Nicholls Round, I'm your host Bianca Hunt, joined by my co-host Tony Armstrong. Tony, what does this week mean to you?
Oh, it's a massive week, isn't it? Thanks for welcoming me. It's good to see you. It's just such a huge week, I guess, in the AFL community and especially the Indigenous community. We get to celebrate our culture. It's an Indigenous game, and the spotlight is really put on Indigenous players and their contribution to the game. So I love this round every year, and yeah, it's just great to be here. Yeah,
I love it. Now, of course, we've pulled out the big guns for Sir Doug Nicholls Round, and backed by popular demand, it's Tigers and Magpies champ Andy Cracker. Thank you for joining us.
Popular demand.
Yeah.
I'll take that every day of the week.
We get comments all the time. Yeah. We actually chose to have you, but nah,
thank you very much. The chockies and flowers are coming. Don't worry about that. But as always, a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah, and what does Sir Doug Nicholls Round mean to you?
Yeah, as Tone just mentioned, to be able to see the contribution that Aboriginal people that have given to our great game, the VFL and the AFL, also, you know, through myself playing and Dad, it's huge to be able to go out on a national stage and be able to, you know, represent these people. And you know, they've got the jumpers, they've got the, you know, the grounds, they've the community involved, and you know, our culture on display. It's an amazing event, and it means the world to me.
You've been involved in pretty much all the Dreamtime games. Well, not all the Dreamtime games, but you were there when it all started. Can you talk us through what it was like and to what it is now?
Yeah, I think we just got a little emblem, I think, on the top left of the jumper. You know, there weren't no designing any jumpers. There was a little bit of media fanfare throughout the week, but it's come along absolute leaps and bounds. And with the AFL and the community, how they get involved and on board, and to be able to showcase our culture and you know, Aboriginality is absolutely amazing. So it's come along leaps and bounds, and it's amazing to see.
Now, I've got a man yelling down my ear because he hasn't been welcomed to the show yet. Three-time premiership superstar, 268 at the highest level. Of course, I speak about the great Darryl White. DJ, it's great to see you.
Yeah, welcome back. It's great to see you as well, and hopefully you're doing something in this tough period down in Victoria at the moment.
No, we're doing our best, mate. Just wanted to get your take on the unfortunate incident with Elijah Taylor, of course, the young Swans boy who breached COVID protocol.
Yeah, look, he's been going along fine too, but I don't think this is the end for him. Obviously, you know, he's been done for the year, but look, it's an opportunity for him now to most probably go and get his body in the right condition. Look, he's going to feel it for the next 6 months till the next season comes around. But look, the strict protocols have been broken by other people, and now the AFL are coming down really hard. And we've seen in the other code too, in the NRL, they're really coming down hard as well. So people, let's adhere to the strict protocol. And look, young Elijah, don't worry about it, buddy. Just get on your bike, get back on it, get into training, get bigger, get stronger, and we'll see you next year.
And Crack, what's your take?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. He's made his mistake. He'll get his right whack. He can make a positive out of this, and let's just hope he comes back bigger and better. And let's try to get there and support him because he's only a young kid as well.
No, that's exactly right. So now we better have a look at the results. It was round 12, which was the end of the footy frenzy, and there's the first batch of games there. The Power, I thought they were going to take it right up to the Cats, but Tomahawk played an absolute ripper. There we've got the Blues getting over with that kick from Jack Nunes after the siren. I'm sure we'll unpack that a bit later. And there's that last page, the Suns. I thought they were going to take it up to the Tigers, but in the end, didn't quite get it done.
Yeah, that's it. And speaking of the Cats and Hawkins, Andy, how incredible is it to see a key forward just absolutely tearing up the game?
Well, I'm not a massive fan of the Geelong Cats, for obvious reasons. They gave us a bit of a touch-up in the 2011 Grand Final, but for a big man of his stature to be able to just take control of the game, every time the ball went near him, you knew something was going to happen. But what I am really impressed about, not only his goals and marks that he's able to do, but how he brings his other teammates into the game. He uses the ball really well. His field kicking is amazing, Tone.
No, well, he's had the most involvements either by kicking a goal or assisting a goal in the competition. So you've got to say he's the form forward in the comp. And also, watching it on the weekend, it was like any time the ball went into his area, you were just barracking for him. That's how strong he was. That's how dominant he was.
That's how good he was. He actually had me barracking for him. So, we saw Charlie Dixon a couple of weeks ago. So key forward's been able to take marks, take big marks, kick goals. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, that's it. And he's even leading the Coleman, so that's very exciting. Now, Daryl, how good is it seeing Liam just taking some absolute ripping marks?
Yeah, well, we're talking about the big blokes, haven't we? And look, Liam Ryan just come up and showed what he can do. Look, 3 unbelievable marks, contested, mind you that. And he took 5 for the game. He had the 12 touches and he had the 3 straight kicks at the scoreboard as well. So, look, he ain't nicknamed Flying Ryan for no reason. Look at him, mate. He's getting up there. And that was, I reckon that was the best one out of him. He had a bit of contact as well. He got contact from the front, backside, and he took a great grab. So, hey, Liam Ryan, he's flying at the moment.
No, you're absolutely right, DJ. And we touched on Jack Nunes' goal a little bit earlier. Crack, talk us through it, because there's a couple of things to unpack. A, is it a free kick? 2, should he have had it? And then 3, did he take the kick from the right spot?
Oh, well, was it a free kick? Yeah.
Well, sorry, downfield.
The umpire said that they got it wrong. But, you know, it is what it is. They make the decisions, and unfortunately they got to live by that. And they've sort of come out and said it was the wrong decision. But you know, with all that happening, it was an absolutely amazing kick. It was a clutch kick to win the game, and took it upon himself and wasted no time and put it through the sticks. So it was a great result for the Carlton Footy Club.
Yeah, it sure was. And last but not least, I want to send a big congratulations to Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody. 100 games over the weekend. For someone to be picked up in 2015 draft round, to have the most consecutive games in Essendon, what an absolute ripper.
I mean, he's a star. Whenever he gets going, the Bombers tend to play pretty well. He's that crucial to their setup, isn't he?
Yeah, he's absolutely a barometer. But he's one of those guys you just love to see playing, love to see the ball in his hand, because once he does get it in his hand, he's very exciting. He's either kicking goals or setting them up.
No, you're exactly right. Now, after the break, B catches up with one of my heroes, the Swan superstar, Michael O'Loughlin.
We know about some of the past players and what they had to come up against back when they were younger.
The execution sensational from the ruckman.
As a community and as a football club, we have a voice and we have a platform where we can, you know, talk about it and make change.
The buzz around the game generates a lot of education and opportunities for conversations that wouldn't have happened otherwise. It's educating everyone and opening up more conversations to learn more about their Indigenous teammates or heroes, and also for Indigenous players to learn more about themselves and other Indigenous players.
You know, it's been pretty epic to sort of experience and understand their culture and where they've come from and how different their stories are, but how intertwined they are. I think that's a great privilege of being an AFL player, is to learn about that culture. It's a shame, I think, that we're not educated and taught more about it through school.
I love immersing myself in Indigenous culture. I love hearing guys talk about where they're from, traditions. I almost get a bit of a history lesson too, because it's something I didn't learn much as a kid.
I'm so proud to be an Aboriginal person playing AFL footy. It's something that is pretty special to me and my family and people from back home that I'm representing.
Rioli! Who else but Rioli?
They just have a natural ability to be better than the rest of us.
To the excitement machine, McLeod. Don't tell me. He's a superstar. Don't tell me.
His charismatic way of playing the game.
Franklin, little fumble. Franklin plays on. He's on his left. He bends it and he kicks it. What else would he do?
They're just special.
Soldo to Pickett. Whoa, what about that? A full 360.
They're quick.
This is the surge in Richmond, and Rioli will go all the way.
Have amazing skills.
Takes an absolute screamer.
They make lots of special things happen on field.
Turns back, nice drop step, heads toward goal, kicks one of the goals of the year.
They tackle hard too.
Here's Dusty Martin, look at him get mown down. Anthony Tippenwoody, sensational.
They've got this raw, instinctual ability to do things and see things that potentially us Wadulars can't see.
Hill's on the end of it, and the Fremantle fans are on their feet. And McDonald Tippenwoody, it's a 1-2 punch at the moment. He's just teasing them. McDonald Tippenwoody.
Here's Eddie Betts again, keeps it alive. That's all right. He turned to the ground and he says, I'm Eddie Betts.
First round, having it in Darwin is even better, I think, with the Indigenous community we have up there.
I'm actually really excited for this game. It's going to be one that I reckon we should do, just about every year or every couple of years.
Apart from the grand final, one of the biggest games of the year. Whole of Australia's watching, so not a bad time to hopefully play some good footy, and I just feel like it just brings people together.
The buzz before the game, both sides standing either side of each other, and the performance we get to witness in front of us is pretty special. It always sort of gets me up and about a fair bit.
Playing that game is special for every Indigenous player, especially now that we're playing in Darwin, where there's a lot of Indigenous people there.
Playing in Darwin will be pretty special. I guess a lot of the people up there might not have been to a dream time at the G before. Playing football is awesome, but if we can, I guess, spread messages greater than football and impact people in different ways, it's a great part of our job.
It means a lot. I represent my culture, my family and the footy club.
Playing with boys, Indigenous boys, and seeing how much it means to them is really exciting for us and gives us a bit more of motivation to win.
Bit annoyed that I can't do the dance this year, but it's good to showcase that talent and skill that we have here at Richmond Football Club and also in the AFL as well, so it's very exciting.
I watched him roll it a few times, do some special rundown tackles and just the goals that he creates. I don't know how important it is for him to be able to be a part of that.
I think this is probably the one that I'm most excited about playing in, really. For us to have Shea Bolton and his family involved in designing the jumper, talk about his family and his journey through art and through such a historic piece such as a football jumper is really important. We couldn't be more proud to wear it.
Oh, how good was that? And how special is it that the dream time at the G game is now up in Darwin this year? All of the people up there, they get to celebrate this special game in such a special round outside Victoria. I think it's amazing. Now, B, we need to check out this interview that you've done with Micky O.
Micky O, thank you so much for joining us on Yokayi Footy. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course, every guest that we bring in, we ask, who's their mob and where are you from?
Well, look, I'm a South Australian boy, so living in New South Wales for the last 25 years, I think. So I'm a very, very proud Kaurna, Narungga and Ngarrindjeri man, and I wish all my mob the best back in South Australia. I hope you're staying safe.
Yeah, definitely. Do you miss home?
Oh, absolutely. This is the longest I've been away from home ever. So I need to get back and, I guess, put my feet in the dirt and see my mob. And, I think I'm a typical mum's boy anyway. So I'm really missing her and the family. So hopefully I'll get over there at some stage.
We'll get into it. What does Sir Doug Nicholls Round mean to you?
I think it's been incredible. It's a chance to showcase our culture to not only Australia but the world. For a lot of people overseas watching the round, and what that means to us is being able to showcase who we are and what we and I guess our culture. And also our incredible and deadly players. They do such an amazing job. I think the AFL have done, it has gotten better and better every year. But I think recognising what our players have brought to the game, and not only the players, I guess everybody off field as well. So it's been really, really good.
Do you think it's been fundamental in shifting that dynamic within our fans and getting them more aware about us and excited about, mob playing?
Absolutely. I think you can go anywhere in the country and our football fans, this is the most exciting round for everyone. And again, I'm not being biased, but it really is the most exciting round in the calendar. Everyone looks forward to this round. So, well done. I think, again, being able to celebrate our culture, it's really great to reflect on our past champions who played the game and have laid the pathway for what these future stars are contributing on the field at the moment.
What would you say to the people who aren't Indigenous about celebrating our culture and people with us?
I've had multiple conversations with a lot of ex-teammates and people from around the league. Go up and ask the question, participate and find out what's going on in your local community and go and join in. As I said, we're an incredible, resilient and beautiful culture, and we want to share that with the rest of the country. And I've always said this, our culture is your culture, and Australia's an incredible place to live. We've got a hell of a lot of work to do still, and we'll keep fighting and fighting for that really, I guess, the good cause for our people. So, go and join in, ask some questions and find out what's going on in your local community.
How important is it that our players that are current are actually looking at those next stages, what their career is after football?
Very important. It's a great question. Very, very important. I think AFL football, it only lasts for a number of years, and there's a little bit of luck, a lot of hard work, and you could be in the league for 5 or 6 years and not play hardly any footy due to injuries or form or just not getting picked. So really important to set up what the next half of your life looks like. And you've got to put some work in like you do with football, and you practice your kicking, your handballing, your marking, your training, you do extra work. The same thing you have to do away from football. And it is really a tough world out there. So follow your dreams, work hard, but there's always got to be a plan B. And I really encourage all of our mob, whether you're playing at AFL level, local level, state level, what is the other thing that interests you? And I think that's really important.
Micky O, thank you so much for joining us on Yokayi Footy for this special round, Sir Doug Nicholls Round. You're an absolute legend of the game, so it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. Keep up the deadly work.
He's an absolute star, an absolute hero of mine too. I mean, he means so much to so many Indigenous people out there, and I guess personally, getting to wear his number when I played at the Swans, absolute career highlight, even if it was only 15 times crack. Leave me alone.
Well, it was very special, but Daryl, I mean, Micky O, he's such an icon of the game.
Yeah, look, his impact off the field has most probably been a lot bigger than his impact on the field. So, with the foundations, the guest speaking roles he does, the education and awareness that he puts out there is second to none. And obviously with Micky O doing the Go Foundation stuff as well, look, they've gone on in leaps and bounds. So what he's done off the field is immense, and look, he continues to do it, and obviously is a big impact in New South Wales, and obviously from his hometown in South Australia, he's much beloved as well.
Nah. Spot on, brother. Wanted to ask you, Crack. Obviously, we aren't going to have the Aboriginal flag at the grounds this weekend. You've spoken about how much that flag means to you. Can you just expand on that for us?
Yeah, I suppose, TA, it's a pretty hollow feeling. Like when I wanted to tune in and watch the game, the Aboriginal flag coming back to the centre bounce after every goal was kicked was something that I look forward to, and I thought it was a great representation for our people. And no doubt, Aboriginal people throughout Australia would have been looking forward to that as well. So for that to not to be able to have that in the centre bounce, and having a round that represents our people and their contribution, but we're not having the Aboriginal flag. So very, very hollow feeling, very disappointing, but hopefully with the powers that be, that when the discussion comes up next time, that we're, next year, that it'll be able to be out there, because that's something I certainly do look forward to.
There'll be a few bootleg Aboriginal flags getting around, I reckon.
They'll be
filling around the stadium, don't worry about that.
Yeah, I don't think the flags will be missing at all. Daryl, how good is it, though, seeing all of these Guernsey coming out every year? They're just getting better and better.
Yeah, they sure are. Look, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of design, and the people that do them, they are very highly acclaimed as well. And look, some of the players are doing them as well. I think it was the West Coast one of the boys done it. And look, Eddie Hocking, old legend himself from Adelaide Crows, done the Crows ones. And look, they all look good, and the detail is second to none. And look, the Hawthorn one, I think it might top the lot. I'm not too sure, but the Brisbane one's pretty good as well.
Yeah, that's it. I definitely have my eye on the Brisbane Lions jersey, and I'll take Richmond as my second best.
Yeah,
we're all
bad,
styling up, and we look deadly in our Guernsey, so it looks awesome.
No, they are. They're an absolute, hallmark of the game. Now, each year in this round, Sir Doug Nicholls Round, the AFL honours the contribution of one of our mob's greats, and this year it's two-time Carlton Premiership hero Sid Jackson.
At the time, there really hadn't been a Sid Jackson before.
Sid Jackson was my childhood hero growing up.
He was fast. He was a beautiful drop kick.
Waiting at home there is Jackson. Jackson runs into a bit of trouble, gets out of trouble. Oh, a long driving drop kick down forward.
There's a lot of things that made him stand out. One was the colour of his skin. I was brought up here as a 4-year-old at the Rollins Mission with 30 other kids. We spent our time here until we were 16. We were up at 6 every morning and we were on the job. We all had duties to do. A tough love, if you want to call it that, sometimes a bit extreme.
It was hard. They were long days, they were young kids, they were away from family and off their country.
I knew I could play football because one football and you got 30 kids trying to get a kick.
In a lovely position, comes down to Jackson. Jackson speaks for it. Tackled by Cumming. Inside steps him and gets the goal. Beautiful football, Jackson.
He was sort of dynamic. He was explosive. You can sort of feel these things straight away when you see a guy. And, well, this guy's going to be all right.
Well, Ron Brassie actually came over here and watched Sid play. Obviously saw something he wanted. Carlton was just huge. They were fantastic for me. The grand final in 1970 was the one particular one I remember. There was 121,000 people there.
Jackson picks up the Carlton. Jackson on left foot stop. Oh, got it through. Gallagher, there's a siren. Carlton up leaders, and look at Wonderless, he's surrounded.
It's surreal, actually, when you think of where he's come from South Bunbury through to East Perth and then on through to Carlton. A couple of premierships. It's very hard to process as a young person.
I'm thrilled that Sid's been named the Sir Doug Nicholls honoree this year. I think he's a player who maybe hasn't had the accolades that some others have had.
He's very proud to represent his club, represent his people, his family and his community.
No, I'm just happy that this is still all being recognised through the Sir Doug Nicholls Round, and just to keep talking about it and bridging the gaps, if there is any still, which there is a little bit of a way to go, but I think we've come a long way, so I'm just happy that it's round going ahead.
There's Jackson. Jackson's got it. He's lining the goals up. He shoots and he's got it.
Given the trials and tribulations of his life and the way he's come through that and dealt with the challenges, and is such a wonderful person, I think it's a great tribute to him.
So amazing hearing stories like that about some of our mob's greats, and Sid Jackson certainly is one. DJ, I want to come to you first on this. What does he mean to our mob, and in what esteem do you hold him?
Look, I hold him right up there. I had the pleasure of getting coached by Robert Walls, who played with Sid as well, and he regarded Sid as one of the top 3 players he's ever played with and obviously have seen. So, look, that's high praise there coming from Robert Walls. Obviously, he's a sound coach and obviously been in the media and all stuff like that. But, look, you know, from Roland's mission there to come all the way in, you know, through some hard times, as he said, and he went through those hard times to come where he is now. I've met him heaps of times over the years, and he's a real avid, keen golfer. And, mate, he is the most beautiful person you could ever want to meet. He is a true gentleman. So, look, for where he's come from and where he's ended up, it's a testament to him and a testament to our people. He's a real good role model to look up to.
And crack.
Yes, you know, such a journey that a lot of our people can relate to. He's, you know, he's had such hard times, but he's been able to make it on a footy field where he's been able to be equal and for his footy just to be able to come through and show everyone what he's all about. And he just does absolutely come across as an absolute gentleman, and he's an absolute trailblazer and a pioneer. And you know, it's for these people, this round, for these people that are, you know, are the trailblazers, that are the pioneers, that help pave the path for people like myself, yourself, also you, Tony, to be able to play AFL footy. So it's held in very high regard, and yeah, he's an absolute star.
Beautiful words, and I'm really excited about this. To take us to the break, we've got a little treat for you. Here's the 2020 Sir Doug Nicholls Round official TV ad.
You got stage fright? No problem. You got neck brace? No problem. You got 2 left feet, can't catch that beat. Take a deep breath, 'cause I got this, yo. I got the mitigen. Music is the mitigen. I got the mitigen. Music is the mitigen. Music is the mitigen.
Welcome back to Yokayi Footy. Well, on the eve of our biggest round of the year, we caught up with the AFL's main man, Gil McLachlan.
Joining us tonight on Yokayi Footy is AFL CEO and Yokayi Footy's biggest fan. I know that because he's told me. AFL CEO Gil McLachlan, welcome to the show.
Tony, thanks for having me, man.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Obviously, this week coming up, we've got Sir Doug Nicholls Round, an incredible round, and one that is so important, not just to the Indigenous population, but the whole AFL community. What does it mean to you to be so deeply entrenched in organising it?
First and foremost, it's a celebration, really, of Indigenous culture and the contribution of Indigenous Australians, and predominantly they've been men over the last 100 or so years to the game of Australian rules football. And we get to celebrate culture and contribution. I think they're the 2 things, and they come together pretty brilliantly over the course of the weekend. And obviously Dreamtime's been the centre point of that, where you get storytelling and you get that extraordinary passion and brilliance of so many of our Indigenous players out on the field. And obviously Anzac Day and Sir Doug Nicholls Round are the 2 big weekends on our calendar.
No, I have to agree. Now, normally when I'm sitting here, I'm interviewing an Indigenous man or woman, and we always ask them, who's your mob and where are you from?
Well, I'm about 4th generation Australian from Scotland. So Clan McLachlan, which is a couple of hours out of Edinburgh. That's my. If I go back on if I'm taking a line of thinking rightly, that's where I'm from. And there's a sort of pile of rubble there. That's all about left, I think.
Couple of pubs that I'm sure the McLachlans ran through back in the day. Now, each year there's a player who is celebrated, one of our mob's greats. This year it's Sid Jackson, 2-time premiership champion at Carlton. Can you tell us a little bit about why the decision was made to celebrate him?
I've known so much about Sid Jackson from people who knew him, watched him, played with him. He's a bit of a hero of so many, and so I think he's the honoree because he was a brilliant footballer and a person that people respected greatly across the field for who he was as a man. And he was a best and fairest player in Perth before he came to Carlton. So I think he's a brilliant player who'd played at the elite level in Western Australia, Victoria, and I think he played a year with Glenelg as well. But he's also a man that I think has universal respect. So those it's the combination, I think, is why he's the honoree.
Do you remember growing up, and obviously there were less Indigenous players playing then, who were some of the ones that always caught your eye?
In my early time, because I grew up in South Australia, Michael Long played for West Torrens and then across to Essendon, and he was you know, he was a trailblazer and just an incredible, that running out in the wing and that you know, for everything he did. And then Andrew McLeod's the other one that jumps out to me. Andrew McLeod was, you know, clearly one of the best players to play our game. You know, he's in the top 10 or 15 or 20 players that I've seen play.
No, he was brilliant to watch. I had the distinct pleasure of growing up pretending to be him, and then he was my mentor when I first got to the Adelaide Crows, and such a wonderful person. Hey, Gil, thanks for your time, and I look forward to us seeing you in the flesh, hopefully sooner rather than later.
You're doing a great job, so congratulations and thanks for having us.
No, absolute pleasure. You're welcome anytime.
Great job there, Tony. Now, of course, he's got a big job.
Oh, I mean, what he's gone through this year, trying to run the AFL competition with the unprecedented events we've had and still looking like we're going to get a season away. I think of the big four competitions in Australian sport, he's the only CEO to keep his job. So he's nipped and tucked at all the right spots, and I'm so impressed by the job he's done. How do you guys perceive him as, I guess, our CEO?
Oh, look, Tony, I definitely see him. I call him Gil the man. He is the man. Look, what he's done the last 2 or 3 years within the AFL has been second to none. Look, he's tried to cross every T and dot every I, and he's gone under every rock, over every rock. And especially this season, with him and everyone there at AFL House, what they've done, and it goes out to the clubs as well to get a season underway in these tumultuous times is, look, a hard one at that. And look, they're doing a fantastic job, as we can see. And look, hopefully next year is bigger and better as well.
Yeah, certainly, Tony. There's certainly been these challenges and these hurdles, and to be able to overcome them the way that he has and the people that he's had around him, he's been absolute credit to him.
Beautiful. Now let's look ahead to Sir Doug Nicholls Round, our favourite round here. The Blues versus the Suns kick us off, and then, well, the big one there it is, Essendon v the Tigers on the Saturday night at TIO Stadium. And if we have a look at the next one, I like the St Kilda Lions game there. I think that one's pretty juicy. And then lastly, to round out the round, we've got Collingwood versus North Melbourne. Now, B, which game did you want to have a look at?
Oh, definitely Essendon and Richmond. I mean,
stole it off us.
I stole it. I mean, you can't tell by the Richmond outfit, right? But, I mean, I reckon the mob up north are going to be real excited to be able to see their first dream time in the NT. So I'm just looking forward to seeing the special moments that will come out of that game. Yeah.
And who do you think wins?
I will say Richmond.
OK, well, the Tigers is safe. How safe is that, Crack?
Yeah, no, very safe. Well, I'm looking forward to the West Coast and GWS game. West Coast are absolutely flying at the moment. 7 wins on the trot. Their midfield is absolutely humming. I think the connection with Nick Nat and TK is going along very nicely. And GWS, how they respond from last week. We had a pretty fair and honest answer from the Captain Stevie Caniglio over the weekend, asked how they were going in the first half, and it was absolutely hopeless. So, you know, they're going to be have their work cut out this week. So I think that the West Coast will continue their winning ways.
DJ, what have you got for us?
Look, obviously, I'll be up in Darwin, and we've got 2 games up there this weekend, but I'm looking forward to the one on Friday night, the Suns and Carlton. Look, both teams are at that languishing down the bottom at 11 and 12th, and they've had some pretty decent years. They've had some close losses, and the Suns, they haven't had a win in the last 5 weeks, or the last 5 games, sorry, should be saying weeks. They've got that close draw a couple of games ago. So, look, but it's good to see Petreffi, Seaton, Jones, Martin, Betts, you know, maybe Harbrow and Rankin, you know, 6, 7 Indigenous boys get out there and put on a show on Friday night.
Yeah, awesome. I'm pretty jealous that you're up in the nice warm heat there, Daryl, so...
Yeah, I know. Aren't we all?
Stop rubbing it in.
Look at his tan too.
But it's time for my personal favourite, which is shoulda, coulda, woulda. We're coming up with Buckley.
Look, this Buckley one, I mean, he gets so angry at the wall. He wanted to... Do you remember when Alistair Clarkson put his fist through it? He should have been at the G.
He should have been at the gym, I think.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to do a bench press.
Now, this next one with Simpson, the poor thing.
Oh, my God,
man.
Should have ducked. Should have ducked, would have ducked, probably couldn't have ducked.
Couldn't have ducked at all. And the last one with Elliott, poor thing, should have made the distance.
Elliott should have got a bit more purchase on the ball, I think.
Went about 25 in the air.
Oh, dear.
Didn't make it through.
Who are you most... what are you most excited for this weekend, Crack?
I think I'd have to go with B's game. The Dream Time at the G up at TI Stadium is going to be an absolutely outstanding game.
Hey, well, got to thank you for coming in again. The People's Chant, we got you back in, so we'll see you again soon, Crack. DJ, you stay warm up there, mate. We're all stuck inside in the cold, so you get some sun. We'll see you again next week. And B, I can't wait for the footy this weekend.
Will do.
What's it going to be? I know.
That's it.
Oh, dear. So let's enjoy the footy this weekend. Sir Doug Nicholls Round. It's an absolute ripper for us and our mob. We hope you enjoy it too. We'll see you next week.